Already.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's about that time.
Already?
Already.
I forgot my second watch.
Second watch.
One's just not enough anymore. What time is it? Oh,
I can't have a watch at work.
that sucks, but I understand.
We're not allowed to because of the way because of the job. Anyway.
Yeah, I can't either.
It's about that time, yeah. No.
Time. You want to know what we do with time? We manage it.
So, welcome to Studio 20. I'm Siren Valentino.
I'm George. We'll get right into some time management. Because we all know the 20th. It's today.
It's today.
It's today.
It is April 20th for this episode of Studio 20. And we know most of you know what that means. So, hope you enjoy your day as far as that goes. But
let's talk about managing some time in the meantime. I feel like I struggle a lot with time management, and it's not because it's hard, but it is definitely a lifestyle change. Like, you have to program yourself to do very small iterations of work on things over time instead of waiting last minute to do everything all at once.
That's, I think you were saying, we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and you were saying it's kind of a choice, it's a lifestyle choice.
It's like going to the gym.
To have good time management.
Yeah.
And I think I can agree with that. It's difficult. I'm what I call a master procrastinator.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
wrong kind of pride right there. But yeah, no, it's easy. It's easy to procrastinate. It's easy to put things off, especially if you're like, oh, I have plenty of time to do that. I'd rather be doing this. A lot of people put it on a scale and they say, I'd rather do this instead of that. I'd rather go hang out with my friends than do my essay that needs to get done.
But then you tip those scales too far to one side, and next thing you know, you ain't got no time to manage.
No time to manage.
It's all gone.
You broke your scale. You were talking, I think, a little bit just now about segmenting your time. Like if you block out your time, if you make not even really like a list, but kind of like a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
You schedule out your time. You say, okay, by this point I want to have this much done. By this point I want to have this much done. If it's by the hour, by the day. I like to do it. I actually learned in fast food, they try to get us to segment time every 20 minutes. And they're like, okay, every 20 minutes, like, kind of just look around, see what's going on. Like, are there a lot of customers? Is there a little bit of customers? Do you need more food? Do you need to stop making as much food because it's slowed down? Like, they really want you to be, like, on top of your game. But it's funny how that affects how much you actually want to get done.
Really,
as far as
though, because like
motivation.
you when you set a timer for yourself and it's a very short one at that, it makes it a lot more time sensitive in your time management. And building it up from little levels like that will help you build it up to, a little bit more, like a couple minutes at a time, and then you keep building and building, and you're just doing everything a little bit here and there, not really stressing out, trying to complete an entire project all at once. You just hit it little by little.
I think that's one of the better ways to approach any kind of project is, like, if you look at a project as a whole, like if you're someone like me who likes to make movies or, any kind of project, I guess, really. But a big project like a movie, you want to break it down and figure out what parts you can work on, what parts you are interested in working on at that time. Like, if you have ideas for one chapter versus another chapter, it's fine to bounce around, but you should try to, if you're not getting anywhere, you want to try to segment your time out and do, like, okay, I'm going to work on this chapter, this scene for this amount of time. I want to be done with this scene by this point. But it's important to Set yourself realistic goals, realistic deadlines for different things for your projects. Like you're like if you have an essay that's due, you don't want to put it off till the last minute, which I might have just done. Yes, I had a really big essay that I put off till the last minute, and that's stressful when you wait. When you
put it right there in the tail end.
You don't right in the tail. No. Yeah, obviously we did not have a lot of time to plan this episode. We'll throw that out there, but that's why we've kind of figured time management would be a funny one to do. Procrastination.
Oh yeah.
Just
been killer.
Very busy, and that's if you're someone who feels like you don't have any time. Time management is such an important skill to have, which you looked up a couple ways to deal with that if you are feeling feeling like you don't have time.
I feel like I have all the time in the world, but I never break it down to really get a lot of things done as much as I would like to, because it's just so easy to get into procrastination. You really have to set it up for yourself. Like, I feel like the easiest way to do something is, like, even if you don't want to work on time management right away, is to get into a habit of, like, when you finish things, put it on, like, a done list on your to-do list kind of deal. To kind of, like, see, like, the things that you're accomplishing as you're going along.
A done list on your to-do list. So you mean like 2 lists? Like make a list of like things you need to do, and then make like a okay, you done, did it. Like you accomplished this one now.
Yep.
That's interesting. Rather than just like crossing it out.
Okay. Because like it's like it's crossed out, but like showing like I did this, just like visually seeing
might
like
be more satisfying.
That's really all it is. Same thing.
I could see that. That's a good motivator for someone. Like if you have a hard time starting any kind of time management, if the idea of organizing your time at all just gives you anxiety or anything, like that's a good little step. Like, okay, make yourself an accomplished list. That's I like to do things in lists too. I know some people, it's so funny, people either love lists or they hate lists. They're like, I make lists for everything, but I feel like it really does help organize your time. Organization is a skill. It's not like a talent. You can get better at organization. It's something that I think if you're very stressed, you might be having a harder time being organized, keeping organized, even keeping your time itself organized. You'll lose track. You'll be like, oh man, where'd all those hours go? I didn't do anything in those hours, and that's stressful itself, because then you're like, now I have no time left. And then you just don't do anything. But
what do you think's a good way to kind of derail that situation a little bit when you are stressed in time management?
We're talking about getting rid of distractions. Which
that's a very
beginning of this episode, you were talking a little bit, and I obviously was a little distracted because I realized we didn't set a timer for the episode, and I was like, oh, we didn't set a timer for our time management episode. So that was a little explanation there. But so removing distractions.
Oh yeah.
Removing distractions can be very important. Whenever you are trying to do really anything, anything can be a distraction. A lot of people, it could be someone you care about. Say you live with people, and they just start trying to have a conversation with you. You might be getting stressed that you don't have time to like be alone and work on your projects, but you can separate yourself. Find a space where you can do things on your own time, and give yourself enough time to be in those places. Like say, okay, I need to set aside 2 hours to study, to relax even. It's important to schedule.
Absolutely.
Schedule. That's the thing about like trying to do time management and being organized. It can be stressful. It's very like satisfying to like have yourself organized, but you still need a break. So it's important to schedule that off time.
Yep. Even if it's a couple minutes, just get into the groove of like, okay, take kind of a quick breather. Maybe stretch or something, move around if you sit down a lot.
Stretching. That's a good one.
It can be done so quickly.
That's take or schedule breaks. Scheduling breaks. It really is. Like, I do that, so I like to read. Does that mean I'm a strong reader? No, it does not. It does not at all. I used to be a strong reader. Now I kind of need glasses just for reading. I don't need like I can see fine, but the glasses almost give me. I call them HD glasses because they give me just that slight more cleanliness to see everything. Yeah, enhanced. But with that, I try to break down my time for getting a lot of homework done or getting any kind of reading done. I'll be like, okay, 5 pages, 5-minute break, watch some TV or so watch a show, literally separate myself from what I was doing. And some people have trouble, I think, transitioning, like flipping that switch, like, okay, I'm doing this, I'm not doing this, especially if it's only like in 5 or 10-minute intervals.
Yeah.
But I think that also still is, like we were saying, I think it's a skill. I think it's something that you get better at over time.
Yeah, you need to practice. Which I definitely need to practice more of it. It's just so useful. I've done it before, and then I don't do it, and I wonder why I don't do it as much as I need to.
One of the good things about time management is that you can write down things like talking points. Like we did, for example. And we're not doing the best job with that tonight, but I see that on here one of the things says multitasking is a myth, and I do not agree with that at all.
You don't agree? How can you not agree with that?
Oh, no. Master procrastinator. I'm at work doing homework. I'm in the car doing homework. I'm like falling asleep doing homework.
Oh my god.
Wake up, write about my essay because I dreamt about it. Like I'm ready.
Wow.
No, like I definitely you gotta find the time. But that's the thing is, honestly, I'm a lot more stressed when I'm not multitasking. Like, because I sit there and I think about all the things I have to do, and then I don't do anything because I'm like, oh no, there's too many things. But if I just start doing them, and then I start doing multiple things, like what were we doing the other day? Like if you start doing laundry, that's an easy one because you just toss the laundry in, machine does it, you're good to go. You just have to remember to swap it over.
Yep.
But while your laundry is running, you can be working on homework, you can be cooking, you can be reading, you can be doing some other hobby, like
check your emails,
something productive, preferably. That's kind of the point of time management. And that's the thing too is you got to prioritize. If you are procrastinating, there's a good chance you're procrastinating. You are sitting there and telling yourself, I'm gonna put this off.
Oh yeah. Tomorrow for sure.
And so it's important to try to prioritize properly, and it's not fun most of the time to sit there and have to tell yourself, no, I'm gonna have to cancel this dinner, I'm gonna have to not go out with friends tonight because I should work on this thing instead for work or for school or for yourself, like get your own space organized. Yeah, I don't know, prioritizing.
Yeah.
Prioritizing. What are some of the methods you know about to deal with time management and procrastinating and struggling to be organized?
I usually try to give myself just deadlines of when I want everything to be done, and then kind of like sort the level of importance that things have to get done in a certain order, just to make it easier for myself. Like, okay, what can I do basically like in arm's reach, or do I have to like go further to get whatever I need?
Right. I feel like that's where multitasking comes in handy for me. Like that's what that makes me think of immediately. Is like, okay, I should be doing this, but I should be doing this at the same time. Yeah.
But you can. It's not really the same time. It's just, I feel like it's just working more efficiently than it is multitasking.
Yeah. I feel like that's true. If you convince yourself, like, this is gonna sound kind of crazy, but like, if you convince yourself you have more time, then you will feel like that as
Oh,
well.
yeah.
Like if you're sitting there and say you're not doing anything really with your day, like you go to work, so you're like, all right, I worked all day, I don't have time for anything else. You're convincing yourself you don't have time for anything else, because realistically, you know, like 8 hours, like even so 8 hours of sleep, which is a healthy amount of sleep, which I know most people don't even get that. They, you know, like especially around our age, everyone's like, I get 4 hours. I probably get, so I get around 8 hours, but I don't get like a consistent 8 hours. I'll do like 4 or 5 hours, and then like rolling around on and off, waking up, and then I will take a nap. I do a lot of like on and off naps. That's one of the things, like you said, taking breaks. But I literally schedule
Did you
schedule my naps.
Oh,
Oh yeah.
yes.
Oh yeah. I
Perfect.
sit there and I know
Then
the
you know.
time frame, and
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a half hour. Like I'm so like I'm doing so many things that like a half hour nap is a half hour nap, and I'm good. Take it. It's honestly some of the best sleep I get. But it's lovely. Like I feel so refreshed after it. It's like, which is surprising. I'm someone who takes like at least 3 hours nap. I'm someone who has slept for like literally on record. No, not really on record, but like for like 21 hours before, which was an outrageous amount. I was just so tired. I had exhausted my body with my fibromyalgia so much that like that's enough. You don't want to overdo it. You can't over time manage. Like you don't want to add too much. Like you can't be like, okay, 9:02, brush your teeth. 9:05, hop in the shower. Like you can't be like that's too organized. It's not. It's I mean like it's
That's
efficient. It's efficient, but it's like it can be stressful then trying to keep up with that schedule, and then when your body, like say something happens, they say your plumbing goes out or something, and that's the schedule you're on, and now you're like, oh my god, my schedule, and like immediate anxiety because you're falling behind, and that's not healthy. And that's the main point. That's the main point of time management, is to relieve stress from yourself so you feel more healthy, you sleep better, you feel more relaxed. And if you haven't picked up by now, I'm not the best at at time management, and that's one of the reasons we wanted to talk about this. That way we can also get feedback from people who are watching, because it's important to help each other with things like this. Like we said, it's a skill. It's something that you share with people. It's something that you develop and something that you learn about. You can't just assume that you have the best time management skills, because even the most, like we said, the most organized people can still be overdoing it.
I do it all the time, but sometimes you just gotta get it done.
You just gotta get it done.
You gotta get it done.
What is this top method? I think we talked about that a little bit. We did.
Yeah.
Let's see.
So I applied this method, the Swiss cheese method.
The Swiss cheese
Which basically
method.
all it says is, if you have, say, like a big task. I had my apartment. I was like, oh, I gotta clean my bathroom, my fridge, my living room, my dishes, and my room. I was like, I'm not doing this all in one day. So I broke it up. I'm like, okay, bathroom Monday, like this day,
right,
that day.
That's a good.
And
for
then
any house chores.
I finished a day earlier than I wanted to, so it turned out pretty good.
That's the other thing, is that once you start organizing your time, that's when you really start to realize how much you have, because then you're like, oh, didn't even. When like you stop thinking about what do I need to do right now, because you have it already planned, and then that time you just spend thinking about adds up, and then you're like, wow, I have all this time to relax now because I got everything done. You feel like so accomplished, and it's a good feeling. You feel stable once you get that kind of time management.
Clean and just weightless, just like everything's where it should be right now. It's very satisfying. It should be. Oh, absolutely.
So, on that note, I'm sure you guys have noticed that our studio was a little bit different this week. We are in the process of a transition.
Alien abduction.
Alien abductions, elephant butts, little tiger faces poking in and out here and there. But hopefully we will have everything put together by next month. We're not exactly sure how it's going to look, but we appreciate you guys putting up with us for this especially chaotic episode of Studio 20. Thank you. Stay tuned for next time for more helpful nonsense.
From me.
And you?
And,
and me.
Yeah.
And me as well. Thanks for watching.
So